Om Shruti Shruti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagini Yomavat Vyapta Dehaye Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Om Namah Pranavathaya Shuddha Jnanaikamurtaye Nirmalaya Prashantaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Bhadram Karni Vishruniyama Devaha Bhadram Pashyemakshabhir Yajatraha Sthirairangai Shuštuvagum Sastanubhi Vyashema Devahitam Yadayuhu Swasti na Indro Vruddhashavaha Swasti na Pusha Vishvavedaha Swasti nastarkshyo Arishtanebihi Swasti no Brahaspatir Dadatu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Having declared that I am that Shiva Rupam, Shivohamasi. Shivoham meaning I am everything. First you say everything here is Ishvara, and then I am that everything. And then to try and define I, comes a very interesting verse full of paradox. Apanipado ahamachintya shakti. Our concept of strength is physical strength. My biceps and triceps and so on, And we test these in all the competitions we have. Always, mankind has always had this. Who has greater power? Wrestling matches, athletic tournament competition. Who can throw things the farthest? Who can jump the highest? Who can run the fastest? All power comes from where? Feet, legs, and hands. All Shakti comes from here. In our mind, we connect Shakti with, and here is the first paradox. He says, I am without hands and legs. And yet, I have unthinkable, limitless Shakti. It's like a contradiction. That's what a paradox is. You say something which looks apparently contradictory, and then after vichara and after explanation, oh, that is what it means. There are some interesting paradoxes that are there in literature. I remember having read Bernard Shaw saying it's a pity that youth has to be wasted on youngsters. A pity that youth has to be wasted on youngsters. The other person who is a great master of language, both pun and such paradox statements, Oscar Wilde. Is I can resist anything except temptation. I will resist anything except temptation. These are contradictory, apparently contradictory terms. But there is a depth of meaning when you analyze them. The other one, very interesting, now has a grammar name for it called Goldwinism. The head of the Metro Goldwyn Mayer film studio in Hollywood apparently used to say, a verbal contract is not worth the piece of paper it is written on. What does it mean? But yet it conveys so much. It's communication. A verbal contract is not worth the piece of paper. You don't write a verbal contract on paper. It is a verbal contract. And yet it conveys so much. It sounds illogical. It sounds contradictory. So even within this Jagat, we have so many of these things. Now, we are trying to figure out that which is not samsara. We know only samsara. And we are trying to understand that which is not samsara. And not only that, and understand that that is I. You have no choice but to say it in paradoxes. You are defining Satyam and Mithya. If we can understand this much, that Mithya is a dependent reality, it's a different order of being altogether, like dream and waking, then you can make all these funny looking statements. All of them on analysis, on understanding, will make a lot of sense. Where does Pani and Pada belong to? Samsara. Where does Shakti belong? Samsara. No. You're saying that I have all the Shakti, Achintya Shakti. You must have Achintya Shakti to create the entire Jagat. Everything in the Jagat. All this while we've studied that I create, Brahman creates the entire Jagat and I am Brahman. I create the entire Jagat. Mountains and rivers and thoughts and feelings and ideas and hands and legs and everything. No. It is only as though creation. There is no creation. All creation is dependent reality. Only Mithya. Now we understand paradox. Now, you know why he's saying Apani Padao Achintya Shakti. How do you communicate this? How do you communicate the nature of Brahman is I, when all I know is what is in the Jagat? And everything I talk with reference to what I know in the Jagat. Therefore, paradox. Apani Pado Achintya Shakti. Not only that, he goes on to say, Pashyami Achakshuhu. I don't have eyes. I know everything. I see everything. I don't have ears, but I can hear everything. When he says, I can see everything, I can hear everything, it's only Upacharika. What are you going to see? There is only one Satyam. Advitiya Satyam. So what are you going to see? Nothing to see, nothing to hear. The very seeing is karya. Eyes are karya, ears are karya, hearing is karya. When you understand that, then the statement makes sense. Pashyami achakruhu. Shrunomi without ears. Akarna. Aham vijanami. See, one way of looking at it is I have to know everything. I must be all knowledge to create this jagat. Because I'm looking at it from the inside the jagat. Somebody has created this jagat. That's how I start the understanding. Somebody has created the jagat, so I know the jagat exists. Viviktarupam. But when we understand that there is no reality to the jagat, we know that last year's Physics Nobel Prize was awarded to 3 scientists, no? You've seen that. What did they prove? World is not real. It is dependent reality. Mathematically. That's how they got the Nobel Prize. What do they call it? I think they call it entangled particle theory. But if I'm going to see everything only from that, I will have an issue. How do I explain to somebody who says, this jagat is all I know? So Shastra creates this methodology of talking in paradoxes. After having shown all that we've gone through in this Upanishad, it makes you think, how can there be something of unlimited Shakti without hands and legs? How can anybody see without eyes? How can anybody hear without ears? How can anybody know without buddhi? Aham vijanami viviktarupaha. If you say there is to be a brain to see, to understand, to know, there will always be limitations. The brain is incapable of knowing infinity. There's only one man who's been credited with knowing infinity, the man who knew infinity. Ramanujan. Because the human brain has limitation. And it's the highest form of brain. Animal brain, chanceless. That, and yet, if you say that the whole world is created, the creator must be a nimitta karanam and must have all knowledge, infinite knowledge. That satyam which creates this jagat is jnanam, yapti. And if you say that the whole world is unreal, including my body, mind, sense complex, and yet I am, that satyam jnanam anantam must be I. That is what the communication with paradox is. And he says, na chasti veta. There is no knower of me. There is knower. There is only one Adviti I. There is no knower. Only how do I know then? Shankaracharya gives a very nice example. Jnanam has to arise when I'm looking at it like this from here. And then jnanam also has to go. And the example he gives is that of alum. Atmabodha. When you have suspended particles and water. Clear that put a piece of alum into it. Kataka, seed. That collects all the suspended particles, which we can equate to our ignorance. And along with the ignorance, that also goes down. You know, Veda. Beautiful expression. There is no other way. Shastra has, this is the methodology of teaching. So when we say sampradaya, it is not just the words of the Shastra, but the words of the Shastra which make us understand Satyam Mithya, Ishvara. Shastra tells us all. Tells us all about Ishvara, Devatas, Satyam Mithya. In all of these things, in the Veda, there is only one thing to know. I. There is nothing else. Knowing I, it is as though everything is known. You don't have to know anything else. What a great lesson in Chandogya Upanishad. Mrittika eva satyam. No Mrittika, you know everything about all objects in that universe. It's very difficult. How am I going to know this? Vedaihi anekehi ahameva vedya. All of the Vedas, aneka Vedas, whatever Vedas tell you, both the Karma Kanda portion and the Jnana Kanda portion, there's only one thing to know. Ahameva vedya. In everything that is revealed in the Vedas, including Karma Kanda, all the prayers, all the upasanas, all the karma, all that will not directly reveal I. But all that will open our possibility of understanding I by the time we go to study Vedanta, which is what we are trying to do. All the time we've been talking that there has to be preparation. Adhikaritvam. No person without adhikaritvam can understand this. When our objectives are very limited, I start a company, my only objective is bottom line. I will focus on bottom line. Whatever else happens. But if I ask myself, why do I want to create this bottom line? I have to think about it. What is the purpose? At one level, one may argue, I start the company to give employment to so many people. I start a company to make profits which I can plow back into the society. Very good, very noble. At least that much one can think. But one can elevate it further. What is the purpose? I want to know the reality of I. What is the relationship between making profits and knowing myself? All that is in the preparation portal. I have to do all the karma that I have been told in the Vedas. Nitya Naimitya karma. Teaching out karma, which is dharma. So that I have a prepared mind. The karma kanda portion is so big. All that I have to do, yes, specifies what your kartavyam is. You do that, at the end of it, one is ready with adequate punya to study the end portion of the Veda, Vedanta, Vedanam Anta. Where the knowledge is there, what is the reality of I? Vedaihi, anekaihi, ahameva vedya. Who is this aham? Parameshvara. All this time you said you. Yes, that Parameshvara is you. That you brings to mind an image of a 5'8" person with poor eyesight, with falling hair, not that I. Veda reveals the truth of I, and therefore the truth of everything. Vedaihi anaikaihi ahameva vidya. If Vedas reveal Rameshwara, in other words, Veda introduces Parameshwara. Introduces Parameshwara as yourself. Like Bhagavan starts doing in the 7th chapter of the Gita. Everywhere he says, I am this, I am this. I am the Balama Bhagavan, Balavan. Everything he says, I. Who can introduce Parameshwara? There is no other entity who can come inside. He must know Bhagavan then before he can introduce you. Sometimes, you get the situation, one speaker to be introduced, the fellow who is introducing has no idea who the speaker is and is struggling in the stage. Oh, Devadatta requires no introduction to all of you. Then why are you introducing me? He doesn't know. Or you can introduce yourself. If you are from the north, hey, myself, Devadatta. And what is your good name? It's a little translation from Aapka Shubh Naam kya hai? What is your good name? Who is going to introduce Parameshwara? There is nobody else who can introduce Parameshwara. Only the Vedas can introduce Parameshwara. Vedas are words. And we simply take the words of the Veda, Veda themselves tell us it is Aparavidya. Okay? All this time you said Veda is going to reveal the nature of Parameshwara, and we say Vedas Aparavidya. It's not the Paravidya that I'm searching for. Words are only Aparavidya. Those words have to mean something, have to communicate something to you. That is why Apani Pado Achintya Shakti. Vedaihi anaikehi ahameva vedya. I am going to introduce myself. Why? Somebody has written the Veda. No? It is there in front of us. Okay, when they started, they didn't have written material, but they taught the Veda. Somebody has created them. Who's created the Vedas? Where did it come from? Who is the Vedanta Krit? By whom is it being Rachita, created? If it is going to reveal the nature of Parameshwara as I, who has written the Vedas? Or in the earlier stages, who has spoken the Vedas? What is the Shruti, which is another name for Veda, which I can hear? Who reveals Vedas? Not only do you learn about me from the Veda, from the Shruti, Anaikai Vedai Ahameva Vedyaha, nobody else can write it. I have to give it to you. I have to introduce myself. Vedanta Krit Aham Vedavit. I wrote the Veda. I created the Veda. How can anybody else create? Nobody else knows. Swami G, what about the Jnanis? Jnanis know? Yes, Jnanis know. And if Jnanis know, then what is the Jnani? What does he know? I am Parameshwar. So you can also say that. Vedanta Krit Vedavit Eva Cha Aham. I am the creator of the Vedas. I am also the knower. Vedavit. Therefore, every Jnani is the same. You know, in our understanding, if I know a flower, don't become the flower. Because it's all within samsara. What I know the rose, I'm a great botanist. I know everything about the rose. I don't become a rose. Or I'm a specialist in some form of cell. I'm a super specialist in heart cells. I don't become a cell. Vedavit, he is Veda, he is Parameshwara, he is what the subject matter of the Veda is. You've heard this before. Brahmavit, Brahmaiva Bhavati. That is the wit, that is the knowledge. It is not like knowledge of an object. I see a little peacock here. I've studied the peacock. I know the peacock very well. I don't become the peacock. You don't become anything at any point. But if you know, and all this while there was ignorance covering this knowledge, that I am Brahman. All the ignorance removed. Soham. Aham Brahmosmi. All the Mahavakyas begin to make some sense. I am that Brahman. That is the knowledge. That Brahman, he said earlier, Shiva-rupa must be. I am the same Shiva, everything. So Vedaihi Anekaihi Ameva Vedyaha Vedanta Krit Veda Videvacha. Does it sound familiar? Vedanta Krit Veda Videvacha. Sarvasya Hridi Sannivishtaha Matta Smriti Jnanam Apohanancha. Taken bodily from here and lifted into the Bhagavad Gita. He Vedanta Krit Aham. I created the Veda. Sarvasya Chaham Hridi Sannivishtaha Vedanta Krit Veda Videva Chaham. This Jagat, apparent Jagat, has come from me. Bhagavad Gita is a beautiful thing. Bhagavan says, no. I told Vivaswan, the whole system, I created that. What? For people who can understand, I created a system of Jnana Yoga. And for others, I created a system of Karma Yoga. Lokesmin Vividha Nishtha. I created everything. All the order is I. I created means what? The Karya is the same as Karma. Chaturvarnyam Maya Shrishtam. I created everything. So I created the Jagat, created within quotes. Another paradox. I created this whole Jagat, but I do nothing. Chaturvarnyam Maya Shrishtam Gunakarma Vibhashaka Gataha Asya Kartaram Apimam Vidhi Akartaram. I do nothing, and yet I say I created it. I exist, but I don't exist. How is it possible? That is a paradox. That is only understandable if you understand Satyam Mithya. If I look at the whole Jagat from this perspective, everything is Mithya, including the Ishvara that I have created, my Ishta Devata. My Ishta Devata I create because I don't understand Ishvara. Ishvara is Brahman. Nirguna Brahman. But I have Shraddha that it is there. Initially I say it is there. Then later I say, no, it is I. So I try to understand. The last bit is, everything is coming together here. That Brahman, that's why we say, you know, if you look at Jagat Karanam Ishvara, is you. Again, not this 5 foot 8 inch frame. You. Jiva Ishvara Aikyam. But if you look at Brahman, None of these others make any difference. Don't exist in reality. That Brahman I am. It's all clear. There is Brahman, there is Ishvara, there is I. Veda introduces all three. And there is Jagat. Veda introduces that also. How the Jagat came about. In Nirvana Shatkam, Shankaracharya captures this whole thing very beautifully. I'm none of these. Shivoham. How do we start? Ahankara. I'm not the manas, I'm not the buddhi, I'm not the ahankara. No, I sense. No. That I sense is not there. That is an expansion of the next 3 lines of this verse only, of this mantra. It says, Na punya pape mama nasti nashaha. No destruction for me. There is no punya papa, there is no dharma. How can there be? There is no karma. There is no karma, no karma phala. All of it is what Swami G calls the brood of ignorance and the family. That's why Nachiketa's question became so beautiful. What is it, he asked, which is beyond dharma? Something he understood was there. Because I am that paradox which exists, doesn't exist, which has no hands and legs, no brain, no senses, and yet is all knowledge, all power. Now, punya papa is that, read this, it's a beautiful verse. Vedairanaikai anekaihi ahameva vedyah.
Vedairanaikai ahameva vedyah.
Vedanta krit veda videva chaham.
Vedanta
krit veda videha chaham.
Na punya pape mama nasti nashaha.
Na punya pape mama nasti nashaha.
Na janma dehendriya buddhirasti.
Na janma dehendriya buddhirasti.
Na bhumirapo na cha vagnirasti.
Na bhumirapo na cha vagnirasti.
Na chanilo mesti na chambaranche.
Na chanilo mesti na chambaranche.
Everything. The Jagat is the whole creation starting from Panchabhutas. I am none of that. Na bhumihi, na apaha, starting from the other side. Because I know bhumi is the most tangible thing I know. Not that. Na apaha, na agnihi, na vayu, na cha akasha. Chidananda rupa shivoham. Everything else belongs to Jagat. It has to create a Jagat. Therefore, I have no punya papa, no dharma, no karma phala. Therefore, no sharira. All that gets clubbed with the Mithya Jagat. Therefore, I don't need an Ishvara. Once I understand, where is Ishvara? When I remove Ishvaratvam from Ishvara, Ishvara is what? All that I have given to Ishvara for my benefit. If I remove Jivat from Jiva, Jivatvam from Jiva, all the limitations, all the, what is left in both cases is only Brahman. That Brahman is I. Now, Punya Papa, Mama Nasti Nasha, there is no destruction. There is no birth, there is no destruction. Time doesn't exist. Birth, destruction, it's all on in a time scale. Time doesn't exist. Ye Soumya Sadeva Idamagra Asit. That Sat is I. Nothing else. All that appears, disappears, reappears, disappears, reappears is Jagat. Na Janma, na Deha, na Indriya, na Buddhi. You got all the Panchabhutas, and from there you got the Sukshma Sharira, Sthula Sharira, all follows. Aham, I am none of them. All of them are I because they come from me. But I am none of them, including my body. The body is I, the mind is I, the buddhi is I. I am not them. I am not the Bhumi, I am not the Apaha, I am not the Vanni, fire, not the Anilaha. Anilaha comes from Andhatu, Pranane. Nor Analaha. Analaha is fire. Another name for fire is Analaha. Analaha is Alam Yasya Nasti. Na Alam. In fire, you can keep putting fuel. It will never say no enough. Therefore, it's called fire. Anala. Tamil, we say differently. Anal Katha Adikirdu. That very hot wind is blowing. But the real meaning of the word Anal is that which has no Alam Buddhi. Then, Pradhan has understood this much. That's why he's making all these statements. Presumably, these statements are all Ashpalana's understanding. Hiranmayoham, again, Mayeva Sakalam Jatam. From there, all that is in first person. Which I love that way Shankaracharya has captured all this. So what? So you know. Then what? Again, our understanding of this thing is only the Sharira is born, goes through all the stages, dies. Evam viditva paramatma rupam guhashayam nishkalam advitiyam samastha sakshim sadasat vihinam prayati shuddham paramatma rupam. I am Atma. All the time I'm saying Atma, I am. I'm saying, no, you're Paramatma. I am the only existent thing. We understand initially that the Sharira, then every Sharira there is a Jiva, which you call Atma. But there is also Atma not inside the Sharira, also outside. I am that Paramatma. Advitiya Eka Atma. Sarvasya Atma. Not just every being, but every non-being as well. Including the space in between. Evam viditva paramatma rupam. Guhashayam Nishkalam Advitiyam. What has he understood? What has he known? Viditva, having known in this manner. In what manner? In the way manner it has been brought out by the Shastra. That Paramatma Rupam, that Aham. Guhashayam, which has to be understood in the Buddhi only. Guhashayam is Buddhi, in the cave of the heart, they say. Nishkalam Advitiyam. Nishkalam, one meaning is without any impurity. But another meaning is also there. in Prashnopanishad, last question talks about this. Say that Purusha has Shodasha Kala. All the attributes. Prana Ityadi. But attributes don't belong to the Purusha. Attributes are all some form of superimposition. The whole question revolves around this. Who is the Purusha who seems to have these Shodasha Kala? That Purusha does not have any of these. That Purusha is I. That's why, when Purusha has these both meanings. That which fills everything, that which is everything, is Purusha. But it is also that which is within you. Pure Ushati. Both are the same. Jiva Ishwar Aikyam again. So Guhashayam Nishkalam Advitiyam. Samasta Sakshim Sadasadvihinam. What an expression. That which illumines Sat and Asat in this Jagat. That which illumines knowledge and ignorance is neither knowledge nor ignorance, neither Sat nor Asat, neither existence nor non-existence, neither Bhava nor Abhava, but that which makes us see both. Chaitanya, consciousness. That consciousness, Aham. When you understand all this, the one who understands this much, Prayati Shuddham Paramatma Rupam. Prayati literally means goes to. But we know, we've seen this enough number of times. There's no going, there's no becoming. Purely, you are always that. You are always that Shuddha Chaitanyam, Paramatma Rupam. Only I didn't know. Like the prince who got lost in childhood, never found out there was a prince. He used to go to the temple and ask people for bhiksha, not knowing that the entire kingdom is his. What a loss. And here, I am infinite. I don't know. I don't know because, like Arjuna said, I have not enough punya to have access to this knowledge. I don't use enough of my buddhi to understand this knowledge. Therefore, Arjuna says, no, I have karpanya dosha. I have not used the power given to me to understand. You have all the power. to know what this is all about. But Swami, what happens is, I hear in the class, it looks so clear. It's like writing on the wall. It doesn't become clear once I get out. Something is stopping that clarity from emerging. Something is creating a blockage. One of the reasons why we say Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti 3 times before this. There are problems being created by myself, Adhyatmika, or by other people, either physically or by tempting me away, and by unknown reasons, Ishvara. How can I get rid of them? This much I have understood, because in the class when I sit there, everything looks so clear, but it doesn't happen. If it was clear, Swami used to say there is choiceless choice. You have to be a sannyasi. Sannyasa is a choiceless choice. Once the clarity is there, the clarity doesn't come. Something is obstructing that. How can I remove that obstruction? What can I do? Pray. Ananya Bhaktya. Pray to the Ishvara you have created, in whom you have invoked all Shakti, all knowledge. And one such prayer is Shatarudriya. Every day you study Rudram. You make an effort to understand what you're saying. Everything here is that Rudra. Rudra has 2 meanings. The one who creates tears and the one who removes, wipes away the tears. So every day, Shatarudriyam Adhite, chant, study, practice Shatarudriyam every day. It is said that Rudram is so powerful. Then when it's done regularly, somewhere I read, for a 5-kilometer radius, it has an impact. Not only that, it has an impact not on you only, but also your future generation. So if a person is born in a family where Rudram is done every day, it has an impact on the child and perhaps on the next generation and the next generation. It says, Ya Shatarudriyam Adhite, so Agniputo Bhavati. Agni is said to be the biggest pavaka, cleanser. That's why we like to hang our clothes to dry in the sun. Dryer is okay. That's also Agni in some form, but Agni in the form of the natural Agni of the sun. All sterilization is only purification, Agni. That equivalent purification takes place by Shatarudri every day. Not only that, he goes on to say so many things. Surapana uto bhavati. You're cleansed. Says no, don't drink intoxicants. Therefore, it is a prescription given away that don't but you still drink. But by doing Shatarudriyam regularly, even that papa can be reduced. Sura Pano Puto Bhavati, he is cleansed. Brahma Hatyat Puto Bhavati. Hatya here is creating himsa. Brahma himsa is Brahmana himsa. Why is that important? Because in the society, if this has to gain, the one who knows is Brahmana. One who knows Brahman is Brahmana. And if you destroy Brahmana, you're destroying everything, including yourself. You remember when Nachiketa waited for 3 days for Dharmaraja, Yamadharmaraja. When Dharmaraja came back, what was he told? Brahmana is waiting 3 days. He has not eaten. He has not had anything to drink. No water to drink. Please appease him. Because otherwise all the papas will come to us. Which is Brahma Hatya Puto Bhavati. Kritya Krityat Puto Bhavati. I did my commissions and omissions. All that I'm cleansed of. Because you know now that I'm not the Karta. One stroke, everything is gone. You just give up Kartritvam. What a beautiful thing to happen. Tasmat avimuktamashrito bhavati. Mukti, it just gains that mukti. Atyashrami sarvada sakadva japet. That Atyashrami, who is free of all these 4 ashramas. No brahmacharya, no grihastha, no vanaprastha, no sannyasa. Atyashrami. That's the gain. Shuddham Paramatma Rupam Prayati. Anena Jnanamapnoti Samsararnavanashanam Tasmadevam Viditvainam Kaivalyam Phalamashmute. Kaivalyam is Kevalasya Bhavam. Moksha. Anena Jnanam Apnoti. He who gains this knowledge by this, by all this teaching, by this Upanishad, gains everything. There is no samsara. There is no sea of samsara. Avasagara sab sukh gaya hai. Vikar nahi abhi tarana nahi. Oh, well, Mirabai has understood. Tasmat evam viditvenam kaivalyam phalamashmute. And he repeats, Kaivalyam Phalamashnuta iti, to indicate the end of this Upanishad. At that time, you had no written matter. You couldn't write finish or end. So they always used the word twice. Kaivalyam Phalamashnuta, Kaivalyam Phalamashnuta iti. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.